Good morning, it's July 4th. Happy Independence Day. This is to my liberal friends. Yesterday I posed the question if the Democrats have learned anything since the elections last November. Based on what has occurred since then, I would have to say no. The only answer they have to anything is to say no to whatever Trump says or proposes. They fail to offer any vision for the future, and they have allowed the far left wing of their party to seize control. Evidence of this is the win in the New York Democratic primary for the office of mayor. A self-described socialist and anti-Semitic candidate, Zohran Mamdani, won the primary and is poised to become the next mayor of New York City. His platform is right out of the Socialist Handbook, calling for higher taxes on white neighborhoods, free child care for anyone that needs it, government-run grocery stores, free public transportation, and other government-run programs. His solution to pay for all this government largesse is to raise the taxes, he says, on white neighborhoods within the city. In addition, he wants to increase the corporate taxes and an additional income tax on any person who makes $1 million. The governor of New York might have some say in that as well, and she's not in favor of those. Before we leave the subject of Mamdani, it should be noted that when he applied to Columbia University, where his father was a professor, he identified himself as black. Now his lineage is of Indian descent. At that time, 2009, Columbia factored race into its admissions policy. Shades of Elizabeth Warren claiming to be a Native American. So where do Democrats go from here? Retaking the presidency is the problem Democrats think most about. And that'll be hard enough. But the Senate is now looking much tougher due to the Democrats' fading strength in so-called red states, all of whom get 2 senators regardless of population size, where their brand is so damaged that electing a Democratic senator against underlying partisanship is getting close to impossible. In reality, 2028 is the best chance the Democrats have of electing a president. The reason is the 2030 census. Projections are that California will lose 3 seats in the House, Oregon will lose 1 seat, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island all are projected to lose 1 seat, and New York will lose 2 seats. And that's a total of 11 seats from reliably blue states. Texas and Florida will each gain 4 seats, while Idaho, Utah, and Arizona will each gain a seat. In the Electoral College, that swings 11 seats from the Democratic column, and the Republicans will more than likely pick up all 11 of those electoral votes. If Mamdani wins in the mayor's race in New York City, we could see an even greater excess of voters out of the Empire State. In 2026, Democrats not only have to defend seats they hold in the battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, New Hampshire, and Michigan, they'll have to knock off Republicans in Maine and North Carolina and then take 2 out of 3 in the certifiably red states of Iowa. Trump won by 13 there. Ohio, Trump won by 11. And Texas, where Trump won by 14. The only way to effectively and reliably compete in states like those is for the National Party's brand to be different enough from its current iteration so that good candidates like Sherrod Brown are not dragged down by their association with the National Democratic Party. Without that, Democratic control of the Senate will be very difficult to attain. And right now, I would give the Republicans an edge in the Senate with a good chance to pick up 2 of the Democratic seats. Georgia and Arizona are the most likely. History tells us that the incumbent president normally loses House seats in the midterm elections. With a slim majority in the House, the Republicans will have to mount a vigorous campaign to remain in control of the House of Representatives. But Democrats will have to come up with a real plan other than just saying Trump is the bad guy. Remember when Trump had his day of liberation and announced strong tariffs? The stock market plunged downward, and liberal pundits predicted the doom and gloom for investors and for the administration. But what happened was the market came roaring back, and not only made up the initial losses, but now sits at an all-time high. On the tariff front, Trump is slowly getting wins as trading partners realize they can no longer take advantage of the U.S. and have to negotiate new deals. So back to the basic question, where do Democrats go from here? The problem is there's no consensus within their own party. Each faction is convinced that they have the solution and the path. The established Democrats say the party has moved too far to the left, and the majority of Americans reject these policies. The left wing of the party says the message and platform are correct, they just have to explain it better. On the issues, the party has to decide what their message will be. Will it be once again for open borders? The public says no. Will they continue to defend boys competing against girls in sports? The public says no. Will they continue to support Palestine and Iran over Israel? The public says no. Will they continue to support uncontrolled spending coupled with higher taxes? The public says no. These are the questions the Democrats will have to answer before the midterm elections and beyond. And right now, There does not seem to be a clear-cut answer for any of those questions. The Democrats are in a quagmire, and they have to figure out how to get out of it. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.